Today. We are bringing back our Rev Up series, Realty One Group series. It's a 12-part series. It's not my favorite. So I call this Rev Up, but it's really pieces of Rev Up mixed with other pieces of other things. So to help you guys get the basics, so you guys know what way is up as you guys get started as new realtors, and so that you guys can just plug away, grow in your business. So that's the intention. These classes will be today's Tuesday, so every Tuesday. So the new schedule for our trainings are on Mondays at 11 o'clock. We're going to have forms training. So going over something from the car forms library. They're all pre-planned. I've got them in there. Most of the ones we're working with this quarter are going to be buyer related forms, although some of them translate both ways. So both buyer and seller, but that's a lot of them come from the purchase agreement this quarter. On Tuesdays at 11 a.m. we will have our Rev Up training, which will help you hands-on things that you need for your business to move it forward. And then on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock, we will have a guest, either someone from like title or lender or NHD or home warranty, somebody that's going to be able to serve you well in that aspect on Wednesdays at 11. And then we will be doing a tech training at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. If you're like, Amy, why did you do that? Well, because it was kind of split 50-50 between the people who were available at like 11 a.m. during the day and those that were available at 7 p.m. at night. And so I wanted to be able to accommodate everyone. So we're going to do that tech training. Keep in mind that all the trainings are recorded. So if you can only attend the evening training and not the morning training, or only the morning and not the evening, you can always catch it on the recording. And the tech will be something related to what we covered on Tuesdays. So it'll be semi-related to that. So just kind of keep that in mind. But that's why we're doing it that way. And just trying to get out there with our new agents in our office and try to be available when they are. Because as we know, it's always better to be on a training live, even if it doesn't have anything to do with realtor basics. You may have questions today that you want answered. So it just gives you that opportunity. So today is the first session of our modified Rev Up series. So we are covering realtor basics. So let's see if I can get this to work appropriately. That's always the question. All right, our learning objectives today are we're going to talk about it says calendar items. That's right. We're going to cover items that should go on your calendar. I was like, I don't know why I wrote that. We're going to talk about setting up your business to win long-term, apps that you should have on your phone. We're going to talk about your voicemail greeting, and then we're going to talk about branding yourself starting today. So it's never too late to start that. So whether you're a brand new agent, whether you've been in the business for 6 months, whether it's been 3 years, if you haven't set up your brand, we're going to talk about doing that today. As always, if you have questions as we move through this today, never hesitate just to unmute yourself, interrupt me. I do have the participant list up, so if you unmute yourself, I usually see it, but I can't make any guarantees. And then I do have the chat box open as well, so you can throw your questions in the chat box, or you can raise your little hand there on your Zoom screen. So first things first, on your calendar, you should have the office meeting for your office. That for us is Realty One Group. That happens, generally speaking, on the second Wednesday of the month at 11 a.m. Sometimes the time moves, sometimes the location moves, but it's usually the second Wednesday of the month at 11 a.m. So you should put that on your calendar as a reoccurring appointment. You should also put on your calendar your local MLS meeting. For us, that is Northern Solano Association of Realtors. That happens every Tuesday at 9 a.m. I highly recommend that you try to attend that meeting, and at the very least, attend it once a month. They also have it still via Zoom, so you can join them via Zoom or in person, so you can join either way. But I do recommend trying to make that an in-person appointment once a month. I think it's just good. You can work on building relationships with other realtors in the area. You can build relationships with other vendors that also attend those meetings. So it's a good idea to try to do that. But if nothing else, get on that 9 a.m. Zoom call once a month. If you can, do it weekly. That's even better. They always have good information for you. So they cover, if you've got a listing, you can always put it on broker tour is what we call that, where after the meeting, they can go around and visit your property. You have to be present at the meeting, either on Zoom or in person, to be able to announce your property, to have it on broker tour, as well as they usually have some sort of guest speaker or information, a mortgage person, a local attorney, somebody that can give you beneficial information about our job that we do with regards to housing. So they usually have some beneficial information there at those meetings, in addition to the broker tour. And then Realty One Group Fox offers Waking Up to Win every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. So Waking Up to Win every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Let's see here. If I change this, does it change what you can see? Can you see? Let's see. I can tell if you can see. Oh, good. So Waking Up to Win, it's wakinguptowin.realtyonegroup.com. That takes you to the calendar where you can reserve your spot and see what's coming up. So here, this business coaching, that's the Waking Up to Win. I don't know why they call it Waking Up to Win, and then they try to trick you on the calendar, but it's the business coaching. You can click to register. It's usually the same link every week, but don't quote me on that. So you may want to register, but if you register, it'll send you the reminders and send you that link so that you can get that. So some good things. Also on this calendar, this Waking Up to Win calendar, there's some other good trainings that are coming up. We're going to start incorporating this in for our new agents because they've got some cool things. Like over here, it's got a welcome to Realty One Group on the 16th of January, which is today. So that is also at 10 a.m. So we just missed it, but that gave you an introductory to the Realty One Group suites, like everything that you have in your tool chest, your one login, all that technology that's provided through Realty One Group. So super good things there. They've got some beautiful marketing material through the One Design Center, happened on the 4th, accurately pricing properties with RPR CMA tools, client reviews to power your business. So they've got a bunch of different things where they highlight some of the tools that we have available to us through One Suite. So again, this was wakinguptowin.realtyonegroup.com/calendar is how you get to the calendar. But even if you don't go to the calendar, it'll take you, we'll see where it takes you. There, it'll take you there if you don't type in calendar. So that's wakinguptowin.realtyonegroup.com. Right there. And then from there, you can go to the calendar. Okay. So that's how you get there. That's how you register for Waking Up to Win. So back to our presentation. So those are the 3 things that should definitely go on your calendar. In addition to that, you should mark these trainings on your calendar. Again, we're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 11 a.m. The link is always the same. Moving from today through the end of this first quarter, the link is always the same. So save this link that you joined us with today to your calendar. That way, if you're ever available, you can just click on it and join our meeting. And then we have that tech training on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. and then tech training Wednesday at 7 p.m. Okay. Any questions so far about making sure those items are on your calendar? Okay. In addition, we want to make sure we set our business up for success. So if you don't have one already, create a separate business account, open a separate bank account for your business. It doesn't have to be a business account. It can just be a separate personal account where we're going to run all of our business expenses and all of our income through that we make for real estate. So all of our real estate expenses come out of there. All of our real estate income goes into there, and then it funnels out through there. So make sure that you have separate checking and saving accounts set up to use just for business expenses. I promise it'll make your life easier come the end of the year. Mileage, make sure you're tracking your mileage. See, I see Bree's driving around right now. So we want to make sure we're tracking that mileage. There's lots of different ways to do that. Your mileage is a tax deduction when you're going out and showing properties and going to inspections and doing all those fun things, listing appointments, buyer appointments. It's all a write-off. Double check with your CPA for your specific situation, but it should be a write-off. One of the best ways to track it is using an app called Mile IQ. So Mile IQ, we'll talk about, well, actually, I didn't put that one in the apps, I don't think. But Mile IQ is the best one. It runs in the background on your phone all the time. So it's always tracking you when you're going someplace. When it detects anytime it thinks you might be driving, it'll track that mileage for you. You go in there once a day at the end of the day and you log the trips either as business or personal, and it'll keep track of all those business trips for you. As well as if you've got a buyer that you've put in the contract or a listing that just came on the market, it'll say, hey, we noticed that every time you go to this property or this address, it's a business expense. Do you want us to categorize all trips to this or this address as business? And you can say yes, and then it'll automatically track those for you. The reason I like Mile IQ is because it's smart like that, and it'll start automatically tracking things. But number two, because it's always running in the background. I've tried several other apps, and you actually had to open them when you got in your car to track the mileage. And then you had to stop it from tracking your mileage. And I'm just not on my game enough to be able to remember to do that. Brain capacity is not there. So Mile IQ tracks it for you. Make sure that you have a calendar. Please have a calendar. It can be in writing. It can be like a written paper calendar. Totally okay. It can be a digital calendar on your phone. Your calendar, kind of like your database. The only one that matters is the one that you're going to use. Okay. When I first got started in real estate, I needed a paper calendar. I needed to visually see what my day looked like. I needed to have it in front of me. That tangibility of just being able to touch and see the week and the month and the days all at the same time was so super helpful to me. I slowly transitioned over to a digital calendar. I now use my digital calendar, but there's no wrong or right answer to that. The other thing that I would urge you to consider is getting a separate phone number for business. Okay, that's the number one thing that I wish I would have done when starting my real estate business, is had a separate number for my real estate business, so that when I went on vacation, I could hand off that phone to somebody else, or I could forward that number to somebody else, and somebody would be taking care of it and not me. It just links you to your phone. Or in my time off, like I still have my phone on when I'm home in the evening. So people still call me. Some people are clients, some people are family. So I just wish I had a separate number. It could be like a Google number. It could be like a separate phone. I just recommend looking into that and having a separate number that you're going to market yourself for your business versus your personal use. The other thing that you may want to consider is seeking the advice of a tax professional on the best way to set yourself up to shelter yourself from taxes. So one of those ways is by setting up like an LLC or a corporation. Again, a tax professional to see what the best option is for you and your business. But that's something that you may want to consider now versus waiting too long to be able to do that. So those would be the main things I would say, is setting yourself up for success. Any questions? All right. Apps to download your handy dandy phone. It comes in handy. We're out traveling, we're showing properties. Some things that you may want to have on your phone is you may want to download the Showing Time app. Most of our listings in Barry's, which is our MLS system, are linked to Showing Time. A lot of agents are asking you to schedule showings through Showing Time. So I would have that app on your phone, as well as I recommend using it for all of your actual listings, because it allows people to schedule showings on your listings without you being involved. But having the app on there allows you to be able to see what showings are scheduled, to communicate with those agents, to schedule showings on other people's properties, to provide feedback and to get feedback. So it's a great little app there. There are two versions of the app. One is the agent-based app, and one is the client-based app. So let me see if I can tell you what the difference is, if I can figure out where my app store is. That's the question there. Hold on, and I'll tell you. Showing Time. All right, there is Showing Time, which is a blue app with mirror. I'll get it there. There we go. That one there, that's the agent-based app. So that's the one that you want to download on your phone. Your clients will download the white colored one. It looks the same, but it's white. That's what your clients will download to be able to track showings on their listings when they have a property on the market. So I highly recommend having that. The other app that I would recommend downloading is that Slack app. That's where we're trying to do most of our office communication is on Slack. So be kept up to date, be able to communicate with other agents in our office, pick up open house opportunities, all sorts of things like that. Download Slack. The other one that you want is your, try sharing my phone. Hold on. I need a different cord to be able to do that. All right, let's try this. I think this will work. As long as you guys don't get freaked out by that number of notifications and stuff that are on my phone. All right, let's go. Let's try this. We're going to go new share, iPad or phone via cable. 3, 4 ones. All right. Let's see here. My screen sharing is paused. All right, there we go. All right. Lightning adapter is other device. All right. So now you should be able to see my phone. So Slack, the one property search, let me get to my real estate page. All right, so there's this one app there in the screen on the upper right-hand corner. It says one app. You want to download that one. That is your property search app that's given to us through Realty One Group. So that's a fabulous app to have. Number one, we can look up properties when they show up as for sale. Number two, I don't know why it's updating today when I was already on here earlier today. Thank you, app, for making me look like I'm unprepared. But this app is what you can share with people. So I was looking at properties earlier today. So this is the app that you can share with other people. It's branded to me. So it's got my name and information on there. You can invite to app so it can get, that's how you would share it with other people. You hit invite and you can send the message and it'll invite them to download the app. You can also text, email, or post it online there. Great idea. And your clients have the ability, they can like favorite properties once they're logged in here. They can delete them from the search. If they open the property and they want to take a peek at it, they can request a viewing of the property through this. They can share the property with you or somebody else. They can email you directly from the app. So it's a great app. That's the one app. Again, it looks like the little square in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, so make sure you download that one. The other thing that I would make sure that you have is a scanner app. So I have Scanner Pro. It's because it came as a package with like my email program years ago. This allows you to be able to scan documents in when you're on the go. Sometimes you might have your buyers sign like a BRBC while you're on the go. You can use this app to scan it in as a PDF and shoot it over to your transaction coordinator, or just shoot it to your email so you have it. My favorite one is oftentimes I'm at home inspections and I've got this chimney inspector that doesn't believe in anything digital. So he hands you a paper copy of the report when he is done. I immediately, before I leave the house, scan it into my phone and email it to my transaction coordinator and to myself. So I make sure that I don't lose that inspection copy. So make sure you've got a scan app on your phone that will scan documents and convert them into PDFs. The other one that you want is on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen is Zip Forms Mobile. That's going to give you access to your Zip Forms library from your phone in case you need to drop a counter offer, extension of time, contingency removal form, something from your phone. Keep in mind, this is not the most user-friendly app that is available to us. However, it is the only app that we can do our forms in, so we just deal with it. But it is a little clunky, so just you can access all your files on there. So Zip Forms, it works very similar to the desktop version, just a little bit different, and it's a little bit more cumbersome to operate. So that is Zip Forms Mobile. I've got Slack on there twice, probably because I meant to put Glide as the next one. So in the bottom row in the center is the Glide app. That one is what I use to do all of my agent visual inspection disclosures. I also use it to send out property disclosures for my sellers to fill out. My buyer inspection election questionnaire gets sent out through there. So all sorts of handy things happen in Glide, but the number one way that we utilize that one is for our agent visual inspection disclosure on the go while we're at that property. So it's much easier to open it up in the app and do it straight into the app. We'll do a training on that at some point when I'm in town.
Hey,
Yes.
quick question. I have downloaded the app through Glide, and I have it on my desktop, but I tried to do my visual inspection via my mobile, and it says something went wrong every time I go to log in, but I can log in on my desktop. Do you have any idea what that means or how I can fix it?
You may want to try deleting it. And if you have an iPhone, when you go into delete, remove, it'll ask to just remove it or actually delete it. Maybe delete the entire app and then re-download it to your phone. It could have downloaded with a glitch for some reason.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I would try first. If that doesn't work, let me know. I'm going to update it. It's been a while since I've logged into mine. All right. So on that second Slack, the third one from the bottom, that one's going to be Glide. So just imagine in your brain that that says Glide. The next app that I would recommend having is your Supra. So that one now is on the screen in the upper center. That one is what allows you to go show properties. Super important. So make sure you have that one. Make sure you can access it. Make sure that your e-key is linked to that. The local association of realtors can help you do that. And as a side note, Solano County is very close to the border of the MLS system. So Barry's MLS, the Bay Area Real Estate Information System, ends in Solano County. Once we step into Yolo County, which is like Winters, Davis, right? Not too far away from us. Once we step into that, then it switches over to MetroList. So you want to co-op your key with MetroList. So you want to reach out to one of the MetroList offices. The easiest one that I like is the one in Woodland. There's the Woodland Association of Realtors. You want to reach out to them and let them know that you want to co-op your key. There is an additional fee to do that. It's like $15 a month to co-op your key with the MetroList Association. But then that gives you access to all of Sacramento and Placer counties and El Dorado counties and Stockton and that whole area over there. So it's definitely something that you want to do. Most people wait on it until they need it, and then they end up waiting too long and they regret their life choices because it's usually a Saturday and they're like, somebody asked me to go show this property or my clients want to go see this property. How do I do that? And it's like, you got to wait till Monday. So
I learned that the hard way as well.
yeah, see, most people find out the hard way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Amanda, that I didn't get to you sooner.
I paid and I was like, what's happening? And then they're like, I'm not supposed to do this, but let me try. I'm like, okay, well, cool. I have 8 showings today. Yes, please.
Yeah, and usually if you go into the office, they can take care of it right there for you. They can send you forms over that you have to fill out and send back, and they can do it that way as well. But if you're available, they're available. Just go into the office and get it taken care of. That way they can make sure that it works. Your lockbox. Let's stop the share real quick. There you go. Now you can see your lockbox is going to look like this. Here's your little tip for opening the lockbox. You're going to take your little app there that I just showed you, and you're going to hit the button at the bottom that says obtain key. Okay, and then it's going to ask for your PIN code. You created that PIN code when you signed up for your e-key. So we're going to try to remember what my PIN code is. Nope, I think it's that one. It's been a while. Then you're going to hit the begin button. Oh, it's asking to verify with my Face ID. Okay. Oh, look, they even have instructions now. Then what you're going to do is you're going to push up on the bottom of that box and let go, and see how the light's now flashing? It's now connecting. If my volume was on with my phone, you'd hear it go beep, 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 and then it go doo-doo, and then it would say success. To open that box, you're just going to push up again and let it fall out. If you hold your finger up in there too long, it will unlock it and then it will seal it back up in there. You'll never get the key out. Usually the key's in this little compartment. You like dump it out. Usually when I'm showing the property, I leave the bottom out so that if another agent walks up to the property, it's obvious that somebody already has the key. Once I'm done, you put the key back in the little compartment there. Let's see if I can turn it so you can see it. There's a little pocket. You put the key in there and you put the thing back up inside the box, and then you're done. Okay, if you tap the box too many times, it'll turn it on and then it'll turn it back off again. So just be aware if you're having problems with it, you might have tapped it too many times. That's usually the problem that happens. And I find that it's better to get your phone going first, and then you can tap the box. That way it doesn't accidentally time out if you're having problems with the box. All right, so now let's go back to share screen iPhone. All right. There we go. So that was the eKey app. We just hit that button at the bottom that says obtain key. If you're opening the shackle to put it on a listing, that would be open shackle. It's going to ask for a reason. So just some things there. Also, this is your handy dandy tip. If you open up the more, down there were those three little dots, and then you hit the settings button, then you can turn on two things. Number one, you can require the PIN only once a day, that second option from the bottom. That way, when you're like Amanda and you're out showing 8 properties in one day, you don't have to put your code in on each property. Once you put it on the first one for that day, the next ones you just hit obtain key and it's going to automatically start looking for that box to open it. Magic.
I will be setting that right now.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm showing you. The required biometrics, that one asks for the face scan. The CBS input here, it was really popular during COVID. We were putting CBS restrictions on our lockboxes, which means that agents actually needed a code to open the lockbox because they were supposed to send us this COVID form before they could see the property. So we were holding it hostage, the house hostage, until they actually sent us that form. If you click this box here, then when you are in, oops, I was trying to click on it on my computer. When we're in here and we hit obtain key, see, now it asks me for my PIN, and it also provides me a place for the CBS code. So I can go ahead and put that in there if there is one. If there isn't one, it's not a big deal. I just put in my PIN code, hit begin, I'm good to go. Okay, but if it does require one, what happens if you don't have that pulled up right there? You're going to plug in your PIN code. It's going to communicate to the box, and then it's going to be like, sorry, you need a CBS code. And then you're going to have to put in the CBS code and hit begin again. And then it'll run that CBS code through, and then it'll finally open the box. So if you hit your settings so that you can put that in at the beginning, it will save you time, energy, and frustration. All right, back to settings. eKey app notifications, that'll show you if somebody's showing your property. If your lock boxes, they get linked to the app, so it'll tell you when somebody is done showing or somebody's showing. I don't like audio feedback. I don't like vibrate feedback, but you can select those. Location services are good because if you have your location services on and then they have like the data at the door, when you get to that lockbox, it'll pull up the listing information for that property. And then have it set for automatic update. That way it's always giving you the updated app and logging you in. Otherwise, what happens if you don't have automatic updates? Sometimes you will head out to go show a property in the middle of nowhere, and then you will have no cell phone service. And if you don't have automatic update turned on, your phone won't be updated, so your app won't be updated, so that you can't actually access properties for the day until you log into the app for the day. So if you have automatic update, it saves that problem. But anytime you're going to go show properties where you think you may not have cell service, make sure you open the app before you leave cell service. Any questions about the eKey app, Supra eKey? All right. The other app that you want is that Berries Plus app right there on the screen on the left-hand side on the top. That is your MLS app. Okay, that's what gives you access to the MLS to be able to pull up properties, see what the showing instructions are, get the agent's contact information. That is the official MLS agent app. Berries Plus is what it's called. Those would be what I recommend for the apps. In addition, if you're using other things like in this one, you've got the Real Scout app. So if you're using Real Scout as part of your client touches, which is one of the programs provided to us through Realty One Group, you may want to have that app downloaded so that you can access it. There's also the One Suite. If you're using the One Suite for your CRM, you may want that app downloaded. And then there's the Realty One camera. I wouldn't worry about that one so much. Let's see if there's anything else that you should have. If you have connections with title companies, you may have their apps on there. So you'll see like I have OR Touch and OR Calc. Those help me. I can pull up OR Calc and run like payment information, like approximate payment information for clients. I have Canva on there because I create things. I do have the Zillow app on there because let's face it, oftentimes our clients are like, hey, have you seen this property, or what's the story with this one? They're going to send it to us in Zillow. So be able to open it. Sometimes you can find for sale too, that aren't in the MLS. So just a few things that you may want to have in addition. So those are the apps that I recommend. Showing Time, Slack, the one app. That's the property search app, a scanning app of some sort, Zip Forms Mobile, Glide, Supra eKey, and Berries Plus. Okay, I'm going to go back to sharing my other screen now. Look at, I'm so tech savvy these days. It's amazing. All right, there we go. You should be back now to the slideshow. All right. So we talked about apps that you should have. We talked about things that should be on your calendar. The next thing is that once you've selected that phone number that you're going to utilize for your business, whether it's your regular cell phone or a different number, record a voicemail greeting. Okay. It should be a 15 to 30-second commercial that was going to boost your business. If somebody calls that line, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know Amanda was a realtor. Or, oh my gosh, this agent sounds so amazing. I want to do business with her. Okay. Your voicemail greeting is going to be the first impression that can instantly set you apart from other agents. And you also want to, in that voicemail greeting, set expectations for a callback. What does that mean, Amy? Hi, you've reached the voicemail of Amy Petard with Realty One. I'm here to create an amazing experience for you when looking to buy or sell properties in the greater Solano County area, and I can help connect you with stellar agents anywhere in the United States. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I check my voicemails at 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. daily. I'll return your call after that time. Response, please feel free to send a text message. Right? We're going to set the expectations for quicker response. If you want to put that on there, send me a text message. Right? That way we're setting those expectations. That way it's not like, oh, well, I called and you didn't call me back within 3 minutes. Why not? So we already confirmed that with them. Okay. Any questions about your voicemail greeting? All right. Moving right along.
Oh, Amy, I have one question. I'm so sorry.
You're totally okay. Go ahead.
With the billing in terms of using my phone number as a business expense, because you know how many phone calls we make, right?
Yes.
I am going to probably keep my phone number. I've had the same phone number luckily since I was 18, so it kind of helps me. And I keep everybody's number, even like appliance people's phone numbers, just in case I put them all in my contacts. So then I have a record there. How do I, at the end of the year, make sure that I'm able to take all of my phone calls and usage of my number, even though I'm on a family plan, and use that as a write-off?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am not a tax professional, so please make sure to check with your tax professional, but you will just take the monthly fee for your line only. So usually your phone bill will spread that out for you. If you look at the itemized bill, it'll show you what just the cost for yours is because you're on a family plan. And you're just going to want to expense that on a monthly basis if you're doing a profit and loss statement. If not, just keep track of it for the end of the year. So when you go to file your taxes, you have what that amount is on a monthly basis. Usually it's a flat rate. It doesn't usually vary very much for your cell phone bill unless you have like a small usage plan and you're constantly going over. Then it would vary. You just want to make sure you're tracking that on a monthly basis of what your line costs.
Okay. And then I did purchase a phone and a laptop, like everything right before I did my license and everything as well. So that's an added charge of a business expense, right?
Absolutely. So anything that you purchase for business use, computers, phones, desks, extra screens, ring lights, whatever it might be, could be a business write-off. Again, check with your tax professional. Oftentimes those larger purchases that we make when it comes to like computers and phones and chairs and desks are going to be depreciated over a period of time. So you're going to get just partial write-off each year, but sometimes you can take it all in one year. Your tax professional will be able to help you know what the best course of action is for yours. But absolutely, all of those expenses now become our. Also, if you buy clothes and they're branded to you or Realty One Group, then generally speaking, that counts as an advertising expense versus just going out and buying nice clothes to look nice. That usually does not count as a write-off. But again, double check with that tax professional. Any other questions? All right, fabulous. Moving right along. Once we have our voicemail greeting set up, we've got our app set up, we've got our calendar set up, we know we feel like we know what we're doing. Then we want to start developing our marketing materials. Okay, for compliance purposes, any first point of contact is going to require your name, your license number, your brokerage logo, your brokerage identified, which is the Realty One Group Fox logos. To access group Fox logos, I just realized I have extra screens. All right. You want to go to your one login. If you are not set up with your one login, make sure you go into the office and talk with Carly, schedule time for her. She can get you set up with how to set up this little one so it shows up on your browser. I only just have to come in here and click this. It logs me in to this page. I can search all those things. What we're going to look for is, and you may need to go to your app's everything here on the page versus your frequents, because if these are just your frequent flyer places that you go inside of your one group login, but if you go to apps everything, we are going to look for our one branding. It had a special name. I probably just skipped it. Dun, dun. Let's see, we have got, oh, right here, one branding. It's up here at the top. It's called Brand Guidelines. If you click on that, I'm not going to increase the size of my browser. Let's just go. Maybe it's going to make me. So rude. There we go. All right. So here is the branding site. Number one thing on here is going to be your style guide. This style guide, if you click on it, it has all of your text that you use, like the fonts and the colors so that you can match everything. Here's the text that are the fonts that you can utilize. Branding. Here's how it sets up. So just some cool things there. You can download these brush strokes and the textures if you want to. So all sorts of fancy things you can do there. So that's, and this allows you, it should give you an option. I think there's an option maybe to, oh, right here, get the font. You can actually download it. So if you have like a thing like Canva, you can actually download these fonts and upload so that you have the full and complete font set in Canva. So it'll let you do that. So that's where you find the style guide. It's got the colors there. Okay, in addition to that, this is where we find our logos for the office. So if we scroll down here to affiliates, so keep in mind, because we're an individually owned office, we're considered an affiliate. So if you click on affiliate, you're going to put in your DBA, so you can put in Fox, you hit enter, then you're going to scroll down, you're going to hit download logo kit. Now, if you're like, Amy, that does not say Fox. I know, but trust me, if you download it, when you download it, it'll have Fox on it. So those are all the Realty One Group Fox logos that you can utilize on your marketing. It's got them in several different colors, different things. These ones that are black behind them, they're not actually black. It's just showing you that the writing is white. So it's trying to let it stand out. Otherwise, it would look like one DBA. That would be weird. So it gave it a black background so that you can see that the writing is white. So that should help you with any of your marketing. So again, you're going to go to affiliates and then plug in Fox and hit enter, and then you can download that logo kit. Other things that they have like some advertising assets. They have, I don't know what any of this stuff is, like this video library. Oh, they just have some like random stuff, making the move. In case you wanted to try to get your office fees taken care of, you can share this with other people. All right. So that is, yeah.
So for the marketing advertisements, it's your name, your brokerage's name, your license number, and your phone number is all required. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, technically your phone number isn't required, but you'd be silly to have marketing assets without any way to get in contact with you. But you could have like a QR code with no phone number.
And it has to have a logo as well?
Yeah, it does need to have the Realty One Group Fox logo. That would be the identification of the brokerage.
Okay.
And the Realty One Group Fox logo should be as prominent as your name. So there's the broker side of me coming out prominent as your name, which means that your name shouldn't be super big and the logo super tiny. It should be very similar in sizes. So just kind of keep that in mind as well.
And that's the same as phone number and license number, right? It can't.
Yeah,
hidden.
The license number, the requirement from the DRE is that the license number cannot be the smallest item on the sign or marketing material.
If that, yeah, okay.
Yep. One of the ways around that, in case you're like, how do I get around that license number not being the small? I don't want it as big as my name. One of the ways is by putting, like each office is independently owned and operated on the bottom of your sign or the bottom of your marketing material. Now that's become the smallest thing on your marketing material. So your license number, as long as it's bigger than that, is good to go. But yeah, that license number, your name or your team name and the Realty One Group Fox logo should be as prominent as each other. Your license number just shouldn't be the smallest thing on the sign. Phone number is not a requirement, but should be on there for contact purposes. Otherwise, what's the point of the marketing? Okay, when you create your individual branding, consistency. So your logos, your colors, your slogans, your photo, any filters that you're using, fonts and images, they should all be consistent across all digital and print media. Okay, whether it's your website, social media pages, online portals, or profiles, printed marketing materials, we want to create that brand recognition with new prospects and existing clients. We want them, when they see your logo or they see that color pop up on their screen on social media, they're like, oh, I know that's Anna's post. I was looking for that, or whatever it might be, right? So we want to create that consistency. It's the same idea as like McDonald's. Anytime you see McDonald's, it's the same colors, it's the same logo shape, it's the same everything. We want to do that for ourselves. You can decide now, like, hey, do I want to brand myself as myself, or moving forward, once we grow our team, do we want to be called something else? So just kind of think about that in advance so you can plan accordingly. The DRE does have all sorts of requirements when it comes to like team names or DBAs. So if that's something that you're wanting to do, we can have a conversation about that separately. The other thing is, I'm going to back up a couple steps to, I said, set up yourself for success, that you may want to start like a corporation or an LLC, that you should talk with your tax professional about the best way to prepare yourself for taxes in the future. Keep in mind that if you do, it's the California real estate law from the DRE is that the brokerage can only pay the LLC or the corporation, the entity, if it's only owned by real estate agents. Okay, if you're like, Amy, what does that mean? If you are licensed and your spouse is not licensed, to be co-owners of that corporation or that LLC, because now Realty One Group cannot write your commission check to the corporation. They have to write it to you individually, because if they're writing it to the corporation, technically they're paying unlicensed people for licensed activities, because you and your spouse are both co-owners of that corporation. So ways around that is make sure you get your significant other, your spouse, if they want to be a co-owner of the corporation with you, to have their real estate license, or number two, just not have them on there. So just telling you that, and like save that little tidbit of information for future reference. All right.
I have a
Uh,
quick question.
yes.
So because um I'm part of a team and I'm wondering, do I need to have a business license as of yet, or is that something I should just get done for when and if I branch off as an independent agent? How does that work?
Yeah, so you technically don't need a business license from the city of Vacaville or the county of Solano or whatever. You don't need that. Because you operate under Realty One Group, whether you're under the team or not. Whether you want to have a corporation or an entity where your checks get cut to, that's something that you should check with your tax professional. And you can absolutely, if they think it's a good idea for your situation, you could start it right now where the team actually then cuts your checks to you as a corporation or you as an entity versus you on the personal. That can be done now. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, and I have had some people give me advice of setting up an S corp as instead of myself to protect myself when and if the time comes for lawsuits.
Yes. And you are protected by our E&O insurance as well, just so you know, because we do carry E&O, which usually helps you in the case of lawsuits. But setting yourself up with some sort of entity does not only help shelter you from some taxes, but it also does protect you in the case of legal action as well. So absolutely. Any other questions? Okay, brand consistency. Again, we want to make sure it's same font, same colors, same filters. Your headers on your social media for your business pages at least should be very consistent. Your picture, your headshot that you're using should be consistent across. If somebody finds you on Zillow and they find you on Facebook, it should be the same headshot to make it easily recognizable. Similar headers, same thing with realtor.com and like car.org, like all those places, it should all be the same. Details matter if you want results, right? So consistency is key, which we just talked about, the quality. So make sure it looks good. And we'll talk about call to action later. This page just didn't get deleted from the original slide deck. But do make sure if you're like, Amy, I'd like a logo, but man, that's not my forte. It shouldn't be your forte. You're a realtor, not a logo creator, not a graphic designer. So you can always go to like Fiverr. It's Fiverr, I think is how it's spelt. But search Fiverr. You can pay somebody to create a logo for you. Can you search other logo creators? They have pieces or examples of their work, and then you can hire them for like pennies on the dollar to create a logo for you. So one of the super easy ways to get a logo created if you want one. Again, it just comes into that branding and consistency. I Googling yourself, right? Have you looked yourself up recently? You only get one chance to make a good first impression. So Google yourself, Facebook yourself, LinkedIn yourself, right? You're going to ask yourself this question: would you hire this person? Right? Who you depict yourself online is who people are going to see you as first, because most people are looking at you up online and doing their research there. So just make sure that you pay attention to that and think about that when you go to post things. If you do have social media and you're posting stuff on social media, you may want to think about what you're choosing to share and what you're not choosing to share, so that people have a professional image of you. It's okay to share things from your personal life. In fact, on your social media, it should be on your personal pages, 80% personal and 20% business. But you may want to, delete the photo of the drunken party that you had on Saturday night instead of sharing that on your social media. I am not in charge of you. It is your business. You can choose what to share, but you just may want to think about what you're putting out there. Any questions about that?
That's very solid advice. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it is good to Google yourself, right? Right. Google your name, see what comes up. Number one, if you don't show up at all, if it's other Amy Petards that are showing up, you may want to do something to help your SEO pop up so that you show up as a realtor when people. And number two, if it's like negative stuff that's showing up, you may want to figure out how to try to surpass that with positive stuff. So just kind of keep that in mind and think about that. It's a good
I do have
activity
a
to do.
question on
Yeah.
that because my name's super common, so there's like a million Amanda Bells out there. And then beyond that, there's also Amanda Bell Realtors. So there's that level of everything. How would I go about making like because I do Solano and Napa County, so maybe that could be something that stands me apart from the rest of them out there.
Yeah.
Is it a Google thing that I need to approach it with?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. So you just want to make sure that you can go back and kind of watch that keywording training that we did a few months ago, as well as it comes into SEO and getting your name up there. And then it also comes into like creating, which we're going to talk to you about here in a minute, like creating your bio and making sure that bio is on places like Zillow and Realtor and Car and Berries. And that in that bio, you might want to make sure that you're specific in mentioning that you serve Solano, Yolo, Napa counties, or wherever you service, so that as people are searching you, it's popping up Amanda Bell, Realtor, Solano, Napa, Sonoma, Travis Air Force Base. So there's that in there so that it pops up as part of the description for the different pages.
Thank you.
Yep. That is not my area of expertise. I know you can get it in there. I know part of it is like when you set up your social media, like the description and stuff in there. When you go to like Realtor, making sure in your bio, it'll also ask you what areas you service. So putting that in there. Search a lot of realtors for my other role. It is really entertaining because I'll search one trying to find their contact information and I'll get like 4 different places across the United States. So making sure that you have in your bio or in the description really helpful in that process of people finding you. Okay, we did that. Moving right along, as previously mentioned, you want to make sure you create accounts and keep them updated. You should have a presence on Zillow. You can log in as an agent on Zillow, even if you don't pay them money. And you can make sure that your account is updated. The areas that you service is on there because people are searching for agents and things on Zillow. That's just the reality. You can also create a profile on your realtor.com. You can claim your profile in Berries. You can put in a bio on there. So on the public side of the Berries, it transfers over. Car, your California Association of Realtors, you can also create and put in your bio and your profile there, as well as some other places that aren't mentioned here that you may want to think about is creating maybe like a Yelp, right? Like a business for yourself there on Yelp so that people find you and can leave you reviews. You can also create a Google business page for yourself as well. There's a few hoops that you have to jump through to have that solidified, but that will help you pop up in the Google searches. So Google, Yelp, anywhere that people are searching for businesses that you don't have to pay for. I'm a fan of free. Yes.
I have a question on that as well. I looked up Redfin, and I believe Redfin. Do you have any knowledge of how to put in a profile as an agent on Redfin? Because when I tried to before, it's not like Zillow. It's almost like it was saying that you have to be a Redfin agent in order to be recommended on there.
Yeah, so Redfin does have their own agents. So you do have to be a Redfin agent to get a Redfin profile.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah. Again, this shall be consistent. So make sure that the name that you use on one, the profile picture that on one is the same as the other. So we just want to be consistent. The next thing is that you want to create your one value proposition for all of these sites. And what is a one value proposition? That's going to be like, why would a client associate themselves with you or your company, right? What services do you provide or what makes you unique, right? How would you set yourself apart from other agents? So this is going to be like your elevator speech, right? You get trapped in, somebody asks what you do. This is going to be your, oh, I do this, right? Here's some examples of some value propositions. And you may want to even shrink them down a little bit, but this is going to be like your summary of your bio, but it also is going to have in there what sets you apart. So one of the examples is through my 7 years of real estate experience selling both commercial and residential property, I know I can make your real estate dreams a reality. Whether you're hoping to buy your first house or sell commercial property to receive a nice return on investment, I will use my skills and expertise to advise you on the most effective buying or selling strategies and find you the best price. I promise to make your real estate endeavors simple and hassle-free so that you can feel encouraged and excited about the next chapter of your life, right? One value proposition. The next one, having grown up in the something county area, I'm excited to bring my skills and expertise to your local community to help families find their new homes. For the last 4 years, I've assisted couples in buying their starter home and helping others find a larger space for their growing family. Once I learn about your ideal future home, I will work tirelessly to ensure that we find you the best property at the most affordable price. One value proposition. Buying and selling commercial property doesn't have to be a challenge. Through my 7 years of experience, I've had the pleasure of helping clients buy over 40 properties at a reasonable rate and selling over 50 commercial buildings. Using my skills and expertise, I know I can assist you in your real estate goals by consulting with you on different buying or selling strategies and helping you find the best space for the right price. Whether you're looking to expand your business operations or make a profit on your office space, I can help make the process easy. So you want to create a one value proposition. What sets you apart from other agents? What services do you provide? And why would somebody want to associate themselves with you? Okay, we're going to include that as part of our bio, which is the next step. After you have that one value proposition, then you want to create a bio because most of those sites are going to ask for your bio. I would probably open or close my bio with that one value proposition on any of those sites. For your bio, if you have experience, you want to state your real estate experience. If you've only had your license for 6 months, but you bought your first home 5 years ago, then technically you have real estate experience for the last 5 years. So, right, it all depends on how you spin it. So you can choose how you want to spin that if you're a newer agent, or you can just leave it out completely. You want to convey your connection to the area that you sell in. Have you lived there a long time? What's your connection? Have you always wanted to move there and you finally made it your home, right? Emphasize the value that you provide your clients. That's going to be that one value proposition. You want to make sure to include any special designations. If you're or a negotiation expert or a military specialist, you can include any of those as part of your bio. You also want to include any awards that you've won, no matter how big or how small. Remember, it's all in how we spin it. And then you want to tell a story or include personal information about yourself. If writing is not your forte, we can now use ChatGTP. We can use AI to help us with our bio. We can be like, write a biography for Amanda Bell, who has 3 years of real estate experience, who here's what she likes about the area. Here's my value proposition. I have the following designations, and I enjoy hiking and looking at fast cars in my free time. And AI will spit out a really pretty bio. Or if you're like, Amy, I don't like AI and I don't want to use that site Fiverr that I mentioned before, they have people that'll write bios on there for like 20 bucks. Somebody can write your bio for you. They'll ask you questions. You'll fill out a little questionnaire or answer their questions. And then they'll spit out a completed biography for you to use on any of the sites. Super fancy. And then we want to make sure we put that bio on your Zillow and your Realtor and your Google and your Yelp and your all those different places. Your Berries, there's a place for it. Car has a place for it. So you want to make sure that you have that updated everywhere and that it's consistent and the same. Any questions? Look at that. It's right up 12 o'clock and I have finished for the day. So remember, this will be recorded. So if you have any questions or you want to rewatch it or you're like, what websites did she say? They're all on there. So you can rewatch that recording. And we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we will be back with Old Republic Title Company, and they'll be talking about all the cool tools they have available to help you with a farm, a frequent area of repetitive marketing, as well as tools to look up owners and different things. Please make sure to log your attendance, that link, and log your attendance. And if there's trainings that you would like to see us do for you, there's a place where you can make those recommendations. So we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock for Old Republic Title Company. And then tomorrow in the evening at 7 o'clock, we have our first evening training. And that one is Barry's tips and tricks. We're going to log into Barry's. You can have your computer open, work through it at the same time. I'll show you where to put that bio. I'll show you how to search properties really simply. I'll show you how to use your carts and your saved searches and your market watch. So we'll show a bunch of hands-on stuff there with Barry's for tips and tricks. And I'll also, if you remind me, show you my very favorite feature of Barry's, which is the overlay, the map overlays. That's my favorite feature. So I'll show you how to utilize that as well. So that's tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Any questions before we wrap up for today?
No, thank you so much. Very interesting information.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Amy.
You are welcome. And I'll reach back out to you via text to set up a time to meet.
All good. Thank you.
Perfect. I'll see you all tomorrow at 11.